Gratitude can transform common days into Thanksgivings, turn routine jobs into joy, and change ordinary opportunities into blessings. Let today remind us to give thanks and to count our blessings. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Welcome to The Cellar. This first story is a truly tragic one. By the end of telling it, you will understand why I wanted to highlight and start with this story. It was Thanksgiving Day, 2023, in Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, which is often referred to by its initials, LA, is the most populous city in the state of California. There's an estimated 3.8 million residents within the city, making it the second most populous city in all of the United States. The most populous city being that of New York City. Alma Aragon, aged 26, and her daughter Alexa, aged 8, were both out and about that morning visiting a relative. While at the relative's house, Alexa received a gift she was excited about. To give a little more backstory, Alma and Alexa had only just moved to the US 2 years earlier. I could not find where they had lived prior, but Alma's father had been residing in the US, and Alma had made the decision to move in order to give her daughter Alexa a better life. After spending some time at their relative's house, Alma and Alexa soon departed and made their way towards the bus stop. They would arrive at the bus stop, which is located at the 1700 block of West 83rd Street in Manchester Square. It was some time after 1 p.m. as the pair took a seat and waited for the bus to arrive. Just around the corner from where the pair were was an unknown man who was purchasing alcohol at a liquor store. The man was already intoxicated and at the time was driving without a valid license. The man purchased his items and proceeded to climb behind the wheel of his vehicle. At the same time this man climbed behind the wheel, a woman up the road was traveling southbound on Western Avenue. She was driving at a high rate of speed, well over the speed limit, in a hurry for some unknown reason, and also driving without a valid license. As the woman was flying down the road at a high rate of speed, the intoxicated man proceeded to pull out of the liquor store parking lot. Due to his impairment, the man never saw the speeding car coming in his direction. The woman who was speeding would see the man's car at the last moment, but due to her high rate of speed, she was unable to stop in time before the collision would occur. She slammed into the man's car, setting off a deadly chain reaction. Now, according to reports, it's unclear which vehicle was directly involved in what took place next, but either way, one of the vehicles was sent careening in the direction of the bus stop that Alma and Alexa were standing at. Everything happened so fast that neither Alma nor Alexa had a chance to get out of the way. The car would careen into the pair, severely injuring both of them, and this all went down at 1:30 p.m. Soon emergency services were called, and everyone involved were rushed to the Harbor UCLA Medical Center in Torrance, California. David Aragon, Alma's father, would soon receive the phone call that no parent ever wants to get. He was told by authorities that both his daughter and granddaughter had been rushed to the hospital and were in critical condition. David would leave work and immediately head to the hospital. He would arrive and was soon whisked away into a room to speak with the doctor and staff. It was there, on Thanksgiving Day of 2023, that David was given the horrible news that his 26-year-old daughter, Alma Aragon, had passed away due to her injuries. David was crushed, but wanted to know about his granddaughter. Doctors informed him they were doing all they could, but she was still in critical condition. Alexa would fight bravely over the course of the next few days, while doctors did all they could for the young girl. But on Monday, December 4th, 2023, 8-year-old Alexa Aragon would tragically pass away, leaving a family absolutely shattered to the core. Both the drunk driver and the woman speeding would survive the ordeal. I'm not certain what happened to them in the end, but according to the police, they had enough evidence to charge them both with manslaughter. In the end, the story is heartbreaking, and one that occurs far too often. I myself lost a close friend in high school when a drunk driver hit him while he was riding his bike. The driver then left the scene and tried to hide his truck and fix the damage. He shattered a family and only received a 6-year prison sentence for what he did, forever altering the course of so many lives with his selfish actions. So my reason for telling this story first is to send a reminder to everyone. We live in an age where technology has made every aspect of our lives easier. There's ride shares like Uber and Lyft, along with numerous others. We all have phones and the ability to call anyone at any time. To put it simply, there's no excuse left as to why anyone should ever drive while under the influence. So the next time you have one too many and debate on getting behind the wheel, just remember, it's typically not the person driving while under the influence that pays the ultimate price. It's usually someone else's family and friends that are destroyed by your selfish actions. Please be safe and be responsible this holiday season, as my family and many of yours will be out there on the roads or streets, and they all deserve to be able to come home to the families that love them. Now, I'm going to do something a little different. Instead of telling one specific story, I'm going to dive into a dangerous topic that arises every year on Thanksgiving. That's the topic of Thanksgiving dinner, and in particular, turkey fryers. Now, on average, turkey fryers cause 5 deaths, 60 injuries, and more than 15 million in property damage each year on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is known to have more grease and cooking fires than any other day of the year. Turkey fryers are dangerous, as oil can spill onto the burner itself, or the fryers can tip over and potentially set your entire house on fire. Another issue that arises is that people don't fully thaw their turkey before plunging it into the hot oil. A partially frozen turkey can cause the oil to rise, and even in some cases explode from within the turkey fryer. Now, to prevent issues, you should always use your turkey fryer in an outdoor setting. You should also keep the fryer away from flammable materials and never leave it unattended. Also, as I said prior, please make sure your turkey is thawed fully and have a working fire extinguisher on the ready. With all that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some videos I found on the web. These videos are all examples of just how dangerous Thanksgiving dinner can truly become.
Watch your feet.
Just spray the wood, honey. Just keep spraying the deck till the police get, till the fire gets here. No. No, I'm not worried. My house is not going to be on fire. I mean, I think we're under control now.
Yeah, we're under control now. It's already starting to go down.
Do you want me to call 911?
Okay, Thanksgiving is coming up, and Teddy wanted to do a trial run on his turkey cooking, and so he's gonna put it in his homemade fryer over there, and we'll see how it goes. I didn't think it was a good idea. I wanted to stay inside, so. Whoa! Holy mackerel! Good thing we're inside.
Wait, I need the
Oh my God, here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Whoa! Oh! Oh my God! Yes, I did.
So as you accept this life safety, you're going to walk around.
Now that we have touched on tragedies occurring on Thanksgiving, we will now jump a day forward, tackling the ever infamous day that is known as Black Friday. The earliest known use of the term Black Friday in reference to the day after Thanksgiving was written in the journal Factory Management and Maintenance. It was written in the November issues of the magazine in 1951 and again in 1952. Within the magazine, Black Friday is used to reference the practice of workers calling in sick on the day after Thanksgiving, taking advantage of calling out in order to enjoy a 4-day weekend. This usage of Black Friday never really caught on and was all but forgotten. But over in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Rochester, New York, the police started referring to the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving as Black Friday and Black Saturday. With the holiday shopping season truly kicking off at the time, the congestion and overall chaos was always a hassle for the police, which is where the name Black Friday began as we now know it. It would ultimately take years before it finally took off, as the New York Times first made reference to the term Black Friday in November of 1975. In the 1980s, the phrase Black Friday started to gain more attention and slowly took off into what we know it as today. In the 90s and 2000s, Black Friday was at its peak, with shoppers flocking to stores in droves in order to get their hands on the best deals possible. With growing crowds, things would get out of hand at times. We will now dive into some of those Black Friday stories here next. It was November 29, 2008, in Long Island, New York. Jim Ty Demore was a 34-year-old man who worked as a maintenance worker for a temp agency. Mr. Demore lived in Queens, New York, and had been tasked with going to the Long Island Walmart to help out for Black Friday. Mr. Demore was stationed at the main entrance of the building, as some 2,000 shoppers anxiously waited in the cold. It was soon time to open the store, and Mr. Demore would begin the process of letting customers in. As the doors began to open, the crowd of people surged forward like a feral pack of hungry hyenas. Mr. Demore was immediately sent reeling to the ground as the crowd surged over the top of him. The Walmart was not as prepared as they thought they were, as they were left unable to control the surging crowd of customers. Mr. Demore was trampled as workers at the store did all they could to try and reach him and help. Emergency services would be called to the scene, and Mr. Demore was taken away by ambulance. He was not the only one, as it was also reported that a pregnant woman had been trampled as well. She and her baby would end up okay, but the same cannot be said for Mr. Demore, as he was pronounced dead later on at the hospital. Just one example of how dangerous Black Friday can be, and in general how dangerous a crowd of frustrated and anxious people can be when they want to score the deals they waited hours in line to get. Thanksgiving night, 2016, at a Walmart in Reno, Nevada. Now, this story was first published as being a fight that turned into a deadly shooting over a parking spot, but it turns out there was more to the overall story. 33-year-old Matthew McGraw was driving through the parking lot looking for a spot before another driver inadvertently cut him off. Now, it's not clear why, but Matthew seemingly snapped. Matthew would proceed to get out of his vehicle. He would then attack the other car with a metal baton, breaking the other person's car window and hitting the driver in the face. Things only escalated from there, as the person being attacked feared for his life. He then pulled out a weapon and fired through the broken window of the vehicle. Matthew would crumble to the ground after taking a round, while the man proceeded to flee the scene. Matthew would succumb to his injuries, and the police would soon locate the man who fired. After watching video and speaking with numerous eyewitnesses, police chose not to charge the man, as he was fully licensed to carry the firearm and was simply reacting in self-defense. He also stated he left the scene due to fearing for his life, but he would fully cooperate with the police and the investigation. Just another example of how crazed people can become on the biggest shopping day of the year. Black Friday, 2016, San Antonio, Texas. 39-year-old Isidro Zarate pulled up to his local Walmart store in order to drop his wife off to do some shopping. After dropping his wife off, Isidro began pulling away before he spotted a man attacking a woman within the parking lot. Seeing what was going on, Isidro felt like he had to help. He immediately drove up to the scene, where he yelled from his car window, "Get your hands off her." The man, 21-year-old Teles Menden Juarez, didn't take too kindly to being told what to do. He let go of the woman and proceeded to pull out his weapon. He fired numerous times at Isidro's car, striking him in the neck. Another woman nearby was also struck by a stray round. Tele Suarez then fled the scene as onlookers called the police. A police helicopter was quickly dispatched and officers were able to locate Tele Suarez. He was soon arrested and taken into custody. Sadly, Isidro Zarate would pass away. The round he took to the neck caused a massive blood loss and help was unable to get to him in time. My biggest reason in telling this story last is that I wanted to highlight Isidro. He could have minded his own business and he would still be alive, but he selflessly did what was right and potentially saved that woman's life. In the end, the monster here is Teles Mandan Juarez, but I don't want to focus on him. He doesn't deserve the recognition. I want to focus on what Isidro did, as that woman is still alive thanks to him intervening. Isidro goes to show that there are still good people out there in this world. I want to take a moment to send my condolences to all of Isidro's family and friends. And I also want to take a moment to send my condolences to all the loved ones, friends, and family members of those involved in today's stories. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoy the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel continue to grow. It's also very important that you hit the notification bell and turn on notifications, as you may not be alerted of my uploads if you don't do so. In the description box below, you'll find a link to my merch store and a link to the Cellar Dwellers membership tier for the channel. If you're interested, please take a moment to go check those things out. If you'd like to submit your own scary story or any kind of story recommendation, you can do so using the email linked in the description box below. As always, I do all the research, writing, recording, and editing for the channel myself, so anything that you do to support the channel is greatly appreciated. Until next time, I will see you all again as we head back into the cellar.